You know what the most annoying part of running a wrestling YouTube channel is? The geniuses who show up in the comments section inevitably that feel the need to tell us that wrestling isn't a real fight. Yeah, bro, nobody thinks it's real. Nobody has thought it was real since Vince McMahon told the world it was fake in the 80s. Truthfully, most people knew it was predetermined long before that, so it doesn't affect my ability to enjoy the show if I know that John Cena and Cody Rhodes couldn't carry themselves in a real fight. That being said, I will always find it interesting to know who can bring it if things ever got real. That's why I bought 2 CM Punk UFC fights. Man, dude owes me like $120 for having to watch those disasters. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 past and present WWE wrestlers who could actually fight. Now, before we get into that, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and Anaconda Vice that notification bell. Also, we've got merch. Show the world you're a part of the brotherhood, even if you're a sister with our shirts, stickers, and other business. Number 1, Beast Incarnate. I mean, how could we not lead off with this guy? I can't even fathom the kind of natural athletic godhood required to go from WWE superstar to, screw it, I'll try to play NFL football without having played it down in high school or college in my life. He almost makes the Minnesota Vikings, and then when that doesn't work out, he's like, fine, I'll do MMA for funsies. Maybe that's what makes Brock such an exceptional pro wrestler. It's because he can do it for real if he needs to. The man's a former NCAA wrestling champion, former UFC heavyweight champion, so yes, he's the guy who's part human, part hydraulic machine, and all nightmare fuel for anyone who thinks they can out-grapple him. Brock Lesnar doesn't just fight, he dominates, destroys, or reminds you that while wrestling may be scripted, the guy in front of you is very, very real. Number 2, riddle me this. Matt Riddle's the guy who shows up to the WWE locker room wearing board shorts, a grin, and a laid-back bro attitude, and you'd never guess that he could wreck most of the roster in a real contest. He's the perfect combination of goofball and actual danger. The guy calls out big names on social media like he's picking a freaking fantasy football roster. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, he has publicly dissed them all. Thing is though, he can back it up. Riddle's not just a wrestler pretending to be an MMA fighter, he's a legitimate mixed martial artist with a professional record of 8-3 in the UFC's welterweight division. This is a man who's trained with the toughest gyms in the world, stepped into octagons where real punches and kicks land, and walked away mostly unscathed. So when he swaggeringly, that's not a word, challenges someone like Brock Lesnar, it's not empty bravado, it's a calculated, I could potentially wreck you energy. Well, maybe he couldn't wreck Brock Lesnar. I mean, I would absolutely pay to see him try. And that energy seeped into his WWE persona. He might be bouncing around the ring, doing flips, cracking one-liners, and acting like a stoner philosopher, but every suplex, every strike, and every submission hold carries the weight of a guy who's had some real fights. Matt Riddle is the ultimate contradiction, a laid-back goofball who will talk trash, laugh at your threats, and then make you regret underestimating him. So enjoy the memes, the board shorts, and the surfer lingo. Don't forget that under that chill exterior is a legitimate MMA fighting machine. Number 3, badass? It's true. Kurt Angle isn't just a WWE Hall of Famer and Olympic gold medalist, he is a legitimate combat machine. While most wrestlers were rehearsing flips and promos, Kurt was out there proving that his gold medal wasn't just a prop. Take the time he and Brock Lesnar decided to figure out who the better man really was in a shoot match before a show. No cameras, no scripts, just 2 elite wrestlers going at it. And according to Angle, it was a tight match, but he managed to take Lesnar down twice. Lesnar didn't take him down once. Angle attributed his victory to superior positioning and technique honed from his Olympic training. And then there's the backstage politics. Triple H reportedly told Vince McMahon that it wasn't believable that Kurt Angle would ever win the WWE title due to his size. Apparently, Jerry Briscoe suggested that Triple H and Kurt Angle have a real wrestling match to determine if that was the case. The game reportedly withdrew his concern about Angle's stature from then on. See, Triple H really is the smartest guy in the company, but yeah, Kurt Angle wasn't just a character, he was a real-life fighting machine who made even the toughest wrestlers and the shrewdest backstage politicians think twice before crossing him. Number 4. Ready, Willing, and Gable. It makes perfect sense to follow up Kurt Angle with Chad Gable. Much like Kurt before him, Gable has gone from being that guy with a legit wrestling background to one of the funniest, most self-aware performers in WWE, except you never forget for a second that he could still fold you into an origami crane if he wanted to. It's that world's toughest nerd gimmick. You're comfortable doing it if you know you could really wreck people if you needed to. People sometimes forget this, but Gable was an absolute beast in amateur wrestling, a Minnesota State champion, NCAA Division II standout, and an Olympian who represented Team USA in the 2012 games. Yeah, that's not, just wrestled in a high school gym tough. No, that is I will literally suplex out of your jeans tough. Beauty of Gable, though, is that he does all of this while playing up the over-the-top goofiness, whether he's barking, "thank you," like a Little League coach who just discovered catchphrases, or selling comedy spots that make you laugh right before he German suplexes someone into next week. He's basically carrying Kurt Angle's torch as the kind of guy that can be like, "haha, I'm funny, just kidding, no I'm not, now you're a pretzel." And honestly, wrestling needs way more of that kind of chaos. Number 5. Mid-card Mauler. Calling Haku just a wrestler is like calling a hurricane a light drizzle. The man is essentially the Chuck Norris of professional wrestling without the beard and the roundhouse kick. Oh wait, never mind. Haku did have a beard. Tales of his brutality have been whispered in locker rooms for decades, and some are so wild you'd think they were made up, except, of course, apparently a lot of them aren't. Take the Baltimore airport incident, for example. Haku allegedly bit a dude's nose off just because the guy mocked professional wrestling. No handshake, no warning, just teeth and instant street justice. Or the Puerto Rico story where he nearly popped Jesse Barr's eye out of his freaking socket for being an a-hole to a ditch digger. Mercifully, Haku remembered that Barr had a family to feed and had a bit of restraint. Honestly, a very noble serial killer vibe there, really. And then there's Brutus Beefcake. He complained that Haku slapped him too hard during a match. Haku's solution? Simple. Just drag him out of the shower, choke him out, lift him 2 feet off the ground. Apparently, only Hulk Hogan's timely intervention prevented a permanent end to the barbershop situation. Honestly, I would have paid money to see that. Bar fights, Haku turns them into survival horror a la Resident Evil. Kevin Sullivan recalls Haku biting through a dude's shirt and tearing off a piece of his back with his mouth. Police? Shane Douglas says Haku just shrugged off batons and mace like he was allergic to pain. This isn't a man, it's a natural disaster in human form. Haku's legacy is simple. If you ever find yourself in a room with him, don't breathe wrong, don't joke, definitely don't make eye contact, and for the record, we here at 7 Wrestling love you, Haku, and wish you and your family nothing but the absolute best. Number 6. Vice girls finish first. On the surface, Lola Vice struts to the ring with the kind of poise and sparkle that screams backup dancer for J-Lo's Vegas residency. She's got the neon Miami Vice colors, the hair flips, the hips that don't lie. The crowd just eats it up. You'd swear she's about to bust out an 8 count instead of a spinning back kick. Here's the gag, though. That's exactly what makes her dangerous. While you're busy underestimating her because she looks like she should be headlining Dancing with the Stars NXT edition, she's got a 4-1 MMA record and is waiting to cave in your ribcage. It's the classic bait and switch. She lulls you in with the glamour, turns into the woman who used to fight in Bellator cages for fun, and let's be real, not many wrestlers on the NXT roster could handle someone who's cut weight for a fight camp, survived rounds of sparring at America Top Team, and still found time to figure out which shade of pink tights looked best under the spotlight. Lola Vice's athleticism seems almost preordained. Her mother was reportedly taking a taekwondo black belt test while she was pregnant with her, which, if that's true, I know my mom was watching a lot of Price is Right when she was knocked up with me, so maybe I should come on down. Sorry, back on topic. Lola carried that martial arts legacy forward, earning a 4th Dan black belt herself, competing on the U.S. Olympic Taekwondo team, So yeah, Lola Vice might shimmy her way down the ramp like she's auditioning for a Pitbull video, but the second that bell rings, she's the one capable of dishing out concussions instead of choreography. Message is simple: don't confuse the glitter for weakness, because if you do, you'll find out real quick that those dance moves come with knockout power. Number 7. Lethal Weapon. Steve Blackman wasn't just the WWE's resident martial arts assassin, he was a walking, talking reminder that sometimes it's the quiet ones you gotta worry about. Now, while most wrestlers rely on leg slaps and choreographed flips, Blackman came equipped with actual martial arts credentials. Having trained in taekkwondo and eskrima gave him the kind of street credibility that makes locker room jokers think twice, or at least they should have. Which brings us to the most infamous story in Steve Blackman lore. JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, the man who thinks the world is his own personal frat house, decided to mess with Steve during a flight. Tossing things, being obnoxious, acting like the world's biggest tool. Classic JBL. But things went too far when JBL pinched Blackman's rear end and told him he looked good in his shorts. And one thing real quick, before we go too hard on JBL here, he admits that he was in the wrong and absolutely deserved what he got. And what he got was 9 punches before he even had a chance to react. Yikes. The duo ended up brawling all over the baggage claim carousel. Both JBL and Blackman have given their accounts of this incident, but let's go to a third party for the details. In Bob Holly's book, The Hardcore Truth, he described the incident like this. John started swinging and missing, and his head was snapping back with each of Steve's jabs. Steve stepped back, planning to kick Bradshaw's knees out, but he got his leg caught in a bag handle. Al Snow and I grabbed Steve, Ron Simmons grabbed John, and we pulled them apart. John was walking back and forth like a bandy rooster looking to fight. Before we left, Steve told him, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." He meant it too. We got our car and got on the road. Ken Shamrock was riding with us. Me, Blackman, and Shamrock. That's a dangerous car. And I'm the warm one, a teddy bear compared to the other two. That whole journey, Shamrock was poking and prodding Steve, telling him that Bradshaw was going to beat his ass. Steve wasn't saying a word. And who did we see as we checked into the hotel? Bradshaw and Ron were right there. The boys didn't always stay at the same hotel, so it was a complete coincidence and not a good one for John. He came over to apologize, and Steve said, "No apologies, I'm gonna finish you later," then walked off. We found him in the gym, still boiling mad. Once we were in the arena and had sat down and catering, John walked in. Everyone went silent as Steve stood up. He said, "If you've got something to say to me, you say it now, or I'm gonna finish you in front of everybody." Bradshaw walked over, apologized, and said, "I shouldn't have f***ed with you," and shook his hand. That was the end of it. Steve sat down and said, "Bob, if it wasn't for that bag, John would be in intensive care right now. Trust me, I believe it. If anyone could put Bradshaw in the hospital with one kick, it's Steve Blackman." The lesson here, as always, never underestimate a man with real fighting skills and a calm serial killer demeanor. Well, there's our list. Did I leave out any other WWE wrestlers who actually know how to fight? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and clothesline from hell that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.